Do you feel free? Do you have exclusive, unrestricted entitlement to exercise your rights? Do you feel that your government is there to protect your rights? Hi, my name is Brian Mills, and in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to reveal some shocking information that is already affecting your way of life. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. This presentation directly relates to you, your family, and your friends. Please pay special attention, as this free presentation will not be online forever. So watch it all while you can. At times, we get so lulled in our way of life that it's hard to imagine there being anything else. However, post-9/11 legislations, such as the Patriot Act, have brought a lot of shocking changes into the lives of Westerners by changing their freedoms dramatically. From a country that guarantees personal freedoms and prides itself in that fact, the United States has transformed into a police state where nothing is held sacred or personal. Freedom is directly related to personal privacy. The first thing Adam and Eve exercised as their right was their right to privacy. This ancient example, simply demonstrated by placing a fig leaf over their genitals, was exerted even before the eyes of God Almighty, and He respected it. Privacy as we know it is not a universal concept. Until recently, in some cultures, the right to privacy was not even recognized. The term privacy is sometimes even regarded as untranslatable by linguists because many languages lack a specific word for privacy. If you have ever read Orwell's 1984, you know the terror of living in a country whose government knows too much about its people. The idea that Big Brother sees everything produces an uncomfortable feeling to individuals living in a free society. In actuality, such a society is not free. Such a society only gives its members an illusion of being free. Privacy can be defined as many things. It can be the right to prevent intimate acts or unauthorized access to a home or vehicle. The right to privacy also includes the right to make medical decisions without government coercion. Privacy is also sometimes related to anonymity or the wish to remain unidentified in the eye of the public. However, it's most easily defined as preventing intrusions into one's personal information. Whether it's information about your income, habits, sexual preferences, or even your shoe size, it's all your information and you have the right to protect it from unwanted use or distribution. Privacy and security have become a really big concern when so much data is collected, consolidated, and stored. Is this data secure from an external attack or international misuse from within an organization? Who decides who gets access to what information and for what reason? What would happen if someone who has access to our information were to lose their laptop? Are the keepers of our electronic identities truly protected and trustworthy? When information is provided to the government, it must be protected. However, so far, government has not proven to be a moral or trustworthy guardian. It only takes one person to compromise a system, such as the events in 2010 when WikiLeaks released classified U.S. State Department materials. These materials were provided by U.S. Army Private Bradley Manning, who had been assigned as an intelligence analyst with access to the secret Internet Protocol router network used by the United States government to transmit classified information. Manning was charged with a number of offenses, including communicating national defense information to an unauthorized source and aiding the enemy. But the damage was done, and the lives of American soldiers were placed in danger. Now, if our government cannot keep their own highly classified communications secure from publishing, do you really think that they're doing a better job of protecting your personal information? And with the new controversial CISPA bill passed on to the Senate, the government will have even more information available because the bill is intended to allow information sharing between private companies and the government. Not sharing with one government agency, but sharing with any branch of the government, including the military or the National Security Agency. There have been numerous cases of government agencies overstepping their authority. Governments survive on tax collection, which requires massive amounts of personal information. Recently, a practice of the U.S. Internal Revenue Service known as browsing was known to the public. Thousands of IRS employees have access to the files of all American taxpayers thanks to the nationwide IRS database. And although there have been rules against browsing those files, the IRS has done shockingly little to prevent employees from doing so. One IRS employee abused his position and reviewed numerous tax returns of people he knew. Because no law has been passed to sanction such acts, he was found not guilty. If you pay your taxes, as most of us do, you have no choice but to submit personal information to the government. But when your personal information is collected by force of law and made available to any bureaucrat with an ulterior motive, you are left defenseless. This kind of near sociopathic behavior could affect you. Imagine having an acquaintance who knows all about you without your permission. Imagine being so outrageously intruded upon. The government cannot protect your privacy. It cannot protect you as a citizen. The sheer size of the bureaucratic establishment is just too great for the government to have any real power to protect you. Do you want to allow your personal information to be misused? Do you want to be left at the mercy of the government that has been proven to not protect its citizens on numerous occasions? There are many ways that governments undermine and threaten the privacy of citizens. Governments also have the power to take and use information without permission. More and more laws are adopted all over the world every day that allow governments to collect information without consent. Infuriatingly, too many are familiar with this. There is little recourse against governments when they use information in ways that are harmful or objectionable, meaning they suffer very little when they misuse information about their citizens. Privacy is one of the biggest problems in this new electronic age. The driving force behind the modern culture is the desire to find out everything about you, and once it has all your information and the information of millions of other people, it has an asset which is tradable. Bills like CISPA override policy and surveillance laws already in force and allow for instant tracking of our behavior. This bill will enable unprecedented surveillance of our activities under the pretext of security, and there is nothing in the bill that can prevent companies or government from monitoring private communication simply by claiming a security purpose. While some say that surveillance serves national security, most people feel that government surveillance is too broad-reaching and intrusive. The truth is that we need privacy from government because it's a big deal to those of us who value our freedom. Countless companies and individuals have lost everything simply because they were an open book to those with power to access the information. Many people could have avoided problems if they had a privacy plan in place. It is becoming harder and harder to live without some kind of interference from government, and individual anonymity has become virtually impossible. One of the things you can do to protect yourself from any kind of privacy intrusion is living under the radar. Wide access to personal information was not what people meant when they called this age the information age. You too have the right to protect yourself by protecting your information. If you want to preserve your freedom, information protection is an important issue for you and your family. Perhaps you understand the need for personal privacy but have no idea how to obtain it. So who am I? How do I know so much about this current privacy war, and how can I help you live under the radar? Like I said, my name is Brian Mills. I'm a 52-year-old hard-working American, and like millions of others around the world, I'm fed up with government and other large corporations snooping into my privacy. What I do on a day-to-day basis is nobody's business but my own. And with identity theft becoming the fastest-growing crime in America, it's now time that every single one of us do something to protect our personal information. According to a recent survey by the Federal Trade Commission, there were over 9.9 million cases of identity theft in America alone. And these are just the reported cases. In fact, 4 years ago, it happened to a good friend of mine, Tom. Tom basically had his life stolen in a clear case of identity theft. Over the course of 18 months, Tom's name and all of his personal information was grossly misused to obtain over $42,000 in the form of credit from various major banks, vehicles, and rental properties. The thief also engaged in criminal activities such as drug trafficking, all using Tom's name and other personal details. For 18 long months, Tom tried to get his life back on track by restoring his credit rating and clearing his name. Needless to say, it was hell. He broke down many times and wished for things to go back to normal. 4 years on, Tom still gets the occasional phone call from creditors asking for money. So what's the solution? How can you avoid giving your personal information to the government? And how can you protect yourself from identity thieves so that you and your loved ones never experience what my good friend Tom went through 4 years ago? After seeing firsthand what can happen when the wrong person or organization gains access to one's personal information, I wanted to make sure it never happened to me. So I researched and researched. For many months, I was working out how I can live under the radar and protect my identity. Not only did I find many loopholes where government and companies could exploit your information, but I also found many loopholes that regular citizens like you or I could use to avoid sharing private information that could potentially destroy our lives if it were in the wrong hands. Eventually, I had a complete plan to living under the radar, and I created a guide that gives you everything you need to make sure that you are out of harm's way. All the information you need about keeping your private life private and on how to live under the radar. All the information on how to keep your record safe and what to look out for in order to protect yourself has been compiled in a comprehensive and easy to understand guide. I call this guide Privacy War, and finally, after months and even years of research, I'm now offering my complete guide to privacy protection openly to the public. Now you can get your hands on my years of experience and protect yourself and your loved ones from nosy government, thieves, and various other information grabbers that can put you at risk. By now you're probably wondering how much Privacy War costs. Well, let me answer that with another question. How much is it worth to protect yourself and your loved one's identity? The answer is obviously priceless. Others that have purchased my guide say that because of the sheer value and because they learned so much from my experience, they would be happy to pay $119. And I wouldn't hesitate to sell it at this price. But don't worry, the Privacy War doesn't cost $119. In fact, it doesn't cost half of $119. Because for a limited time, you can get instant access to the Privacy War guide for just $37. For just $37, you will receive a full guide explaining in detail every action you must take to keep your privacy secure, including my zero-cost instructions on privacy protection. Because I take your protection so seriously, I also want to give you my guide to home security. Personal information is extremely valuable these days, and criminals will stop at nothing to get their thieving mitts on your information. And that's why you need to not only protect yourself, but protect your home, the place where you hold so much of your personal data. Valued at $49, I'm now including this in this very comprehensive guide absolutely free. Plus, order Privacy War while watching this video, and I'll also give you my guide to protecting yourself and your family in a crisis situation. The Disaster Protection Guide will keep your family safe and healthy in a time of crisis. Do not let a disaster take you by surprise. Some quick, free, or low-cost preparations may well mean the difference between life and death of your family. This $29 guide is now included for free. Plus, I have one other special surprise for you. If you live a busy life or simply don't like reading, I'm now including the Privacy War MP3 series. I have had the complete guide professionally recorded onto an MP3 so you can just sit back and listen. The MP3 series will soon be sold as a separate product for $40. However, if you order the Privacy War guide before midnight tonight, it's included free of charge. It's time to stop running the risk of becoming the victim. Don't allow yourself or your family to be at the mercy of government, criminals, or a catastrophe. Protect your loved ones by learning all you need to know about keeping them from harm's way. What you learn today may save the lives of your loved ones, so don't be one of those people who allow themselves to pass up an opportunity like this. With a total value of over $240, you can now get the complete Privacy War package for just $37. This includes the Privacy War Guide, the Home Security Guide, the Disaster Protection Guide, plus the professionally recorded MP3 series, all for a small one-time cost of $37. Click the Add to Cart button below this video right now and get the complete Privacy War pack with this massive discount. As you've probably figured out by now, I take security seriously, and that's why I've ensured your protection through our Secure Order page. After you click the Add to Cart button, you'll be taken to our Secure Order page from ClickBank. You'll also notice a domain name on the next page starts with HTTPS. The S means you are on a secure page and your information is secure. I am 200% confident that you will find the information in these guides so helpful that I'm giving you a money-back guarantee on these products. If, for whatever reason, you're not satisfied with the knowledge contained in these amazing books, you're more than welcome to send me an email and I'll promptly refund your purchase and we can part as friends. I say 200% confident because not only will I refund your investment, but you can even keep all the products just for trying. That's how much faith I have in the Privacy War Pack. Thousands of others have put my knowledge to the test by trying Privacy War, and I know you're going to love it too. In fact, here are just a few comments from others like you that have already purchased the Privacy War package. Hi, Brian. I recently saw in the news a case of severe identity theft that was actually quite close to home. It scared the hell out of me. Thank you so much for providing a solid solution so that we can do our part to protect ourselves. That was from Greg in Texas. Here's another from Alyssa in Michigan. Government doesn't give us stuff about our personal data. Our information is not safe with them, and they shouldn't be trusted with such sensitive information. Thanks for helping me and my family stay under the radar. And one more from Peter in California, who says, technology is making it easier and easier for criminals to take advantage of our honest nature. Your privacy protection plan has ensured that I won't experience life-crippling identity theft. It feels like the weight of the world has been lifted from my shoulders. I feel free, just like the rest of America should. Don't leave your safety and the safety of your family to luck. Protect yourself. Better to be safe than sorry, and the battle for your safety starts here. Click the Add to Cart button and start your protection plan in minutes from now. Remember, you get a 200% guarantee on the Privacy War package, so you have absolutely nothing to lose and your absolute protection to gain. So go ahead, click the Add to Cart button below this video right now, and I'll speak with you again after you complete the order page.